All right, what's up? Welcome to Blue Collar Comics. This is my first video. I've never made a YouTube video before in my entire life. So bear with me. I don't even have a tripod. I've got my phone resting against a tape dispenser right now. Um, yeah, I've been reading and collecting comics. A little bit about me. I've been reading and collecting comics since I was about 7. Was when I started reading them. I would rent them from the library. And then started buying them after shortly thereafter that when I was able to, get a little money here and there and whatnot. I amassed a decently, a decently, few, probably like, I don't know, 8 short boxes or so. Going into college, and I had all of my Marvel and about, I don't know, 80 to 90% of my DC comics stolen out of the back of my car when I was in college. And that really kind of took the wind out of my sails as far as reading and collecting comic books for several years, actually. I didn't buy a comic or read anything new for about 4 years after that. And then when DC did their rebirth thing in 2016, that kind of got me back into reading and collecting again. Um, but yeah, I named this channel Blue Collar Comics because I collect on a, you know, working class income. I don't have a whole lot of money. I don't collect for value. I can't afford any, you know, Silver Age or older books, and especially not very many key issues. Um, so if you're looking for that, this is not the channel for you. This channel is really just to like celebrate and appreciate and showcase the stuff that I am into or I'm wanting to get into, and hopefully, show that you don't have to have like a whole lot of money to collect comics. I try to support the industry. I definitely do buy some new issues. I get a discount from my shop, but I pay close to cover price for some stuff that's new. Um, but for all this back issue stuff that I pick up, yeah, I don't buy it to resell. I only resell if I really need to. And yeah, I buy for my own collection and interest and stuff that I enjoy or I did enjoy in the past. Some of it is like purchasing stuff that I used to own that got stolen. Um, yeah, but mostly DC stuff and some indies here and there. Marvel, because I had it all stolen, it's been super hard for me to like have the heart to get back into it. But I definitely could see myself doing that someday. So yeah, you'll see a lot of DC here for sure, but it doesn't mean I have like some weird team sports preference necessarily. It's just kind of generally what I read a little more of when it comes to like nerdy superhero stuff. And then I'm into a lot of like horror stuff and whatnot when it comes to indies. But yeah, just gonna show some books that I got. This is a huge haul from I don't know a few months or so of like 50-cent bins, or I got a lot of like whatnot stuff that I got super cheap. I was like amazed at how cheap you can get some stuff on there. I'll try to kind of list off what I paid for certain stuff. But like this Green Lantern here, I know these were all like 50 cents, which is pretty good deal, I think. Um, yeah, Green Lantern I was never really into except for the animated Justice League series as a kid. I'm 32, so that was kind of right at the exact age when I was really into that stuff. Um, John Stewart Green Lantern obviously in that, and aside from that, was never really big into Green Lantern until I had some mental health issues. I suffer from OCD and some pretty serious anxiety. And so, ironically, I got into Green Lantern like quite late. Jessica Cruz actually, because of her like panic disorder, um, really got me into Green Lantern as like a escapist space fantasy. Space opera, I guess. Is probably the best way to put it. Where it's very, I don't know, sci-fi doesn't feel like quite the right. It's pretty fantastical. I don't think there's a lot of science fiction going on. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was like a great way to like indulge the very childlike side of my comic book fandom, and I resonated with the overcoming fear aspect of the Green Lantern like mythos, especially with if they lose their ring, or if their ring runs out of juice, they're just like a normal person, and so it requires a lot of overcoming fear at all times. And I just thought that was really interesting, and so I kind of got into Green Lantern like backwards, basically from the super modern era, which I know is probably going to sound weird to a lot of people, and this is probably going to get me in hot water, but I was never a big Hal Jordan fan, and I am still kind of not. I like him okay, um, but he's probably my least favorite human Green Lantern. Um, he's grown on me, but yeah, please do not put me in jail for this. I know he's a beloved fan favorite, but yeah, he always felt a little characterless to me, a little generic, charismatic hero vibe. And yeah, he's grown on me, and to like Green Lantern, you basically have to put up with Hal, especially because of the Johns run and whatnot, and the iconic nature of that whole saga. Um, but yeah, that's a little bit about the Green Lantern stuff. I'm sure there's more to say. But yeah, I just got a few run fillers here. I have a decent chunk of this run, but just found some stuff that I didn't already have. This is number 45 from Blackest Night with good old Sinestro on there. That way. Here's number 50. That sweet Parallax cover. Yeah, I actually also don't love that retcon. Ironically, one of the most interesting things about Hal Jordan, in my opinion, as I read backwards, was like the whole Parallax thing, losing Coast City, and kind of the fear of something like that happening again, driving him mad. I thought was like really great character writing, and it reminds you a little bit of like Anakin Skywalker in a way. And yeah, of course, Jeff Johns, being the fanboy that he is, had to kind of retcon that in a way that exonerated Hal, but it is what it is. Okay, that's the Green Lantern. Not a whole lot. This will be a really long video. Maybe I'll just like split it into two. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really expect anybody to watch. This is just kind of like my outlet to showcase comic books and just appreciate the art form and show what I got. And yeah, so if you watch it, awesome. If not, that's okay. Okay, we got some. These are some newish Hellboys that I'm trying to get just like some issues picked up of some of the newer stuff, but not at cover price. I think these are like $1.50 or so. That one's obviously not Mignola on the art there, but it is what it is. Same there. It's the BPRD Beyond the Fences mini from, I don't know, was this like 2 years ago or something? Hellboy in Love, The Art of Fire, number 1 of 2. The Silver Lantern Club, which this obviously has Mignola on art, on the cover at least, which is, you just can't go wrong. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Number 4 and number 5 of that. Yeah, I want to say these are like $1.50 or something a piece. But I've been trying to like get just some more like Hellboy single stuff, primarily because, well, I just like Hellboy stuff, but I also just adore Mignola as an artist in every sense of the word, like his writing and his artwork. Just such moody, it kind of just fills a lot of the niches that I like from comics, atmospheric and dark and all that good stuff. Okay. So I was saying how I grew up really into a lot of the DC animated universe stuff. These were like 20 to 30 cents a piece, I want to say. And I am slowly starting to fill in or like build up Grant Morrison's JLA run from the like mid to late 90s. And then I think Mark Waid took over for him. And believe it or not, until like later on in that run, just because of my age, I have like not really read this. So super excited to like build this up and then read it as I go. And I've heard it was super influential. This is obviously the barcode there's a little a little tainted, a little discolored, but I don't collect for value necessarily. And also Kyle Rayner quickly becoming one of my favorite Green Lanterns, so it's pretty cool that he's on that team. He looks god awful with some of that 90s stuff, but you know what, you kind of gotta love it. But yeah, I've heard the tone of this is like super influential on that TV show, and so I'm really excited to read it. Plus, obviously Grant Morrison, so it's gonna be good stuff. It's number 5 with that really wise decision Superman redesign there. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. It's a cool cover. I don't love the trade dress for this, I will say, but number 9, this is a sweet cover. Number 10, and yeah, you can see these are a little off-white. They're not in the best shape, which is probably why I got them so cheap. And obviously this run is pretty much worthless, at least as far as the comic market is concerned in general. And you know what? That's a-okay with me. Here's number 11. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Oh boy, plenty more. Number 12. Yeah, these were, I don't even know. Yeah, 20 to 30 cents. I got them in like a bulk. So like I haven't done the pure math on them, but it's not any more than 30 cents. Number 13. Freaking awesome Martian Manhunter close up there. Sweet cover. I also like that trade dress a lot better for the JLA logo. Here's everybody pissed at Batman, or Bruce Wayne, that is, 33. So that must have been right around when Wade took over. I don't know. I think Morrison also wrote some like higher number than this, so I have to look into it, or you can tell me if you're watching. Here's 14 for some reason. My ordering is rough because I just wanted to put these in a different box for the video. Dark Side is, baby. Number 15. Number 16. I don't know why this is new lineup. I don't know if Plastic Man maybe wasn't in like some of the earlier issues. Who knows? Number 17. I also just like haven't read this run, so I've heard really good things, but yeah, I haven't read it myself. 18. This is a pretty sweet cover. I've been getting more into Wonder Woman lately too, so yeah, just like, I don't know. Comics are a great escape, and I have more knowledge about like the DC universe, I think, as a whole. especially because I got back into it post Rebirth. I would say before that it was kind of like 50-50 for me growing up. Like, because of the age I am, it was um, I was like the perfect age when like the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans came out. I was renting Spider-Man and X-Men comics like crazy from the library. They would have like the hardcover trade things. I don't even know, like library editions maybe. But I read those like pretty habitually, like chronically, just like over and over again. And I was super into those Spider-Man movies and that X-Men era as well. The first two especially, and I even liked the third one when I first saw it because I was only like 12 or 13, so I wasn't old enough to necessarily pick up on all of the issues with that. These are still in like the kind of like the crummy. I gotta rebag these eventually, probably, or board them. I mean, 29. Extremely late 90s cover there. 39 with some big Barda action. And she's getting some love lately too with that Birds of Prey series, I think. Here's number 40. Yeah, see, here's Morrison again these last couple of issues. Yeah, these are all over the place because, like I said, I got these like just super cheap, just filling a run or whatever. Number 65. Number 72. Boy, Wonder Woman's looking a little interesting in that one, I'll say that much. Number 81. Number 84. Really love this cover, where I always like when comics use the art form itself to kind of cleverly tell a bit of a story where the smoke is kind of eating away at the book itself and eating up the JLA. It's pretty cool. I also don't like that it's called the Justice League of America. It's kind of stupid. 85. 86. 87. It's a cool cover. 88. 90. Is there some Batman and Wonder Woman relationship crap in this? And 104. I think that's like all the JLA I got. Yeah, it is. So we're filling that run up slowly but surely. And I did not plan this, but I was saying I was kind of getting into some Wonder Woman lately. Do not know if this run is any good. So if anybody does watch this and you're like a Wonder Woman expert, I just started picking these up for like 20 cents a pop. One number 4 from the 07 run, Alan Heinberg, Terry Dodson, beautiful Terry Dodson covers, so that's cool. And then here's number 11 from that. Again, this is just kind of all over the place, but these are really beautiful covers in my opinion. Got some Canary and Mr. Terrific action there too. I don't love the patriotic stuff there with Wonder Woman since she's, not American. I just have never understood that, but it is what it is. Number 12. But yeah, I mean, if this sucks, I don't know, let me know. But I'll probably read it, as I build it up. But I've been getting more into the Perez run and on the DC app because I can't afford to buy those in singles. And I don't really collect trades, I should say that. I don't really know why. I think it's always been because I enjoy the cover art and the ads and all this. I just like the experience of comic books, reading them like as single issues, and kind of getting that sequential story. I will binge read them on my iPad at times because that's just a great way to save money and those, you know, the subscription apps are just so cheap for how much you can read on there. I have a few trades. I guess I could show them eventually, but I don't really actively collect them. Like I have a lot of Brubaker and Phillips trades because I'm a huge Ed Brubaker fan. But yeah, aside from that, and I have like a couple Batgirl trades, I think, from like when Gail Simone wrote her during the New 52, and then I met Gail and got her to sign them, and that was pretty sweet. This was like 12 years ago or something. It's a while ago. Okay, this is like an ongoing series that I just, like a currently ongoing series, I mean, that I just found. I think like Midtown Comics, the website or whatever, did like a sale. So these were like a buck 50 a pop. And then I ended up just adding it to my pull list at my shop because I didn't, for some reason, I like didn't know that Mark Waid was doing it and that Dan Mora was drawing it. So I was like, I mean, Dan Mora is, this is not a hipster opinion at all, but he's just beautiful, beautiful art, just awesome stuff. And I feel like Waid really like gets to the heart of characters very well in like a very short amount of time. Like he just understands just really good character work, which is really good for a big team book like this. So this is Justice League Unlimited #1. I think I got these for like $1.88 or something like that after the sale. But yeah, you're not gonna see any like, you know, big fancy expensive books on this channel, and I'm just trying to, you know, showcase that just because something might not be worth a lot, maybe it's still cool and worth your time or whatever. And also just to like take a second to reappreciate what I already have, you know. It's kind of, this channel's kind of for me a little bit in a way. There's #4. Here is #5 with the Legion of Doom, it looks like. I mean, look at that Joker too, man. Like, I don't know. Dan Mora's just got it. He's just got it. This Wonder Woman is so well done. #6. I don't know if I have 2 or 3 yet. I'll have to check. I might be able to like pick those up from my shop or something, or have them order them, or who knows, whatever. Banger cover there. #7. More Joker and Grodd and Lex action. Looks like Sinestro and Cheetah are around there too. #9. #10, which is like a pretty new comic. So I was like really surprised that this was like on the sale. Obviously these are not like key issues then or anything, which is totally cool, but yeah, I was like, okay, sure. Like I'll get into this series for that price. All right. Now we got some Batman. So, but yeah, Batman's my favorite character, probably. Or, yeah, definitely. I wish I had like a cooler niche opinion, you know, like, I mean, I don't know, Swamp Thing's pretty close, but yeah, Batman probably overall. Or like maybe Spider-Man, I don't know, which I don't own any Spider-Man. And that's I would say like the bulk or over half my collection is Batman. Quickly, Green Lantern's getting up there too in terms of like the ratio. Catwoman I have a lot too also. But anyways, I have never read this Shadow of the Bat because it was getting published right around the time I was like born, and when I would go back to read like older Batman stuff, I just like missed this, I guess, when I was younger. It's probably one of those that just kind of like flew under the radar. These were like 20 cents a piece, maybe 30, you know, cheap. And so because these were super cheap, and I heard a couple good things about it. I don't know, is it like an anthology series? Because I always thought the what is it? Legends of the Dark Knight was the anthology series. So is this just like DC equivalent of like Spectacular Spider-Man or Web of Spider-Man? I don't know. If you've made it 24 minutes into this and you're somehow watching, let me know. I don't know. Let me know if it's any good. But these were cheap, and like the artwork's kind of strange, and I just kind of collect Batman stuff in general. So yeah, I was really happy to get these, especially at the price that they were at. There's number 1793, or September 93. Here's number 18. The artwork is very bizarre, almost like an oily looking like picture book style for the covers at least. And yeah, like I said, I've never read any of these, and I don't know if it was like, are these Azrael books, or is it just Azrael during the Night Quest stuff or whatever? But there's 20. Here's some Batman Day stuff that my shop gave me for free. This one's free, obviously. Batman Day, Batman and Robin 1, which is sweet because I was like not buying this series as it came out. And I really love Chris Samnee. I think that's how you pronounce it. I really love his art. The series he did with Mark Waid on Black Widow about 10 years ago or so is like the only Marvel stuff that I currently still own, is like that Black Widow and then a few other Black Widow small mini runs or whatever. Um, and his artwork is perfect for this. Like it's like hand and glove fit for this like year one type thing. So it was cool to get that for free. Whoops, just dropped it. And then they gave me this one for free too, which is maybe not supposed to be free. It's the Absolute Batman #1 Batman Day edition, which it says is $2.99. So whoops, that's cool. And I have the first issue of this series, like the first print of the what do you want to call it, like the A cover, like the original run. And then I didn't buy the rest because at the time I wasn't sure about it. I didn't read it right away, and I finally read it like way too late, and it was fantastic. And obviously that book's worth like a decent chunk of money right now. And so then I went and picked up slowly but surely the filler issues to catch up with it. And so I have like the 6th and 7th print of like 2 through 7, or whatever. And then I jumped on it, with the first prints. I added it to my pull list. I have never read this. I did not even know this series existed, and I was reading Batman at this time. I was probably like 12 or 13. I grew up in like a blue collar, like farming kind of area, so maybe I just was missing like, and I had like shitty internet too, so maybe I was just like missing some of these like side series or whatever. I just didn't even know this it was a thing. But this was like this was just like in a whatnot like lot or whatever, like a box that I got for like super cheap. So cheap to where it was like I only needed like 10 out of there to even make it worth my money, and I can just donate or eBay the rest if I really want. But yeah, this is Batman Gotham Knights issue 69. Cool Clayface cover, I guess. So it's in my collection now. I don't know. This is really random. This got thrown into, I think I bought some bundle or something a while ago, and the seller just threw this in. I think is it an annual? It's essentially an annual, but Green Lantern Corps 3. It looks like an annual, but it's got Nord in it, and this was kind of sick. I don't know. It's in pretty shitty condition, but whatever. Here's a random JLA of the Brad Meltzer run, which I have read a decent chunk of this, but I got this just kind of thrown in, again, like 15 cents or something. Michael Turner cover, I think. Here's some Batman. Now these were a little more expensive. Here's some Detective Comics. We're getting towards the end, I promise. These were probably between 75 cents and $2 a pop, depending. But again, Batman's like the one character that I will like splurge on. Generally, I have like a rule that I'll never spend more than like $4 to $5 on a book at a time, but I also don't even get that high often because obviously that adds up quick too. There's Detective Comics 632, gorgeous cover. Sorry about the lighting, but it's in okay shape too. It's just, and I didn't have it, so I've got, I'm filling out my run from like basically from the current day of Detective and Batman back to like as long as as far back as I can afford it, basically. Um, which is right now like the mid to late 80s, basically onward is what I'm trying to collect. Here's 636. Cool cover. Here is 641. $643. $645. Scranton, what? The Electric City. $649. Really cool cover. I love the moody green, almost mossy gothic, architecture there. That's just the kind of stuff that makes Batman the GOAT. Batman comics, not necessarily the character, but some Kelly Jones hotness there. 666, baby. Number of the Beast, we're in October. Badass Bane cover there, Batman with the big old Kelly Jones long ears. Can't beat it, man. 678. These are probably like $1-ish, maybe less, I don't know. 679. It's seen better days. It's like, not exactly white. But it looks okay, and I put them in new bags or whatever, and I mean, look at the color difference. 686. And this is one of those like zeros that all those series were doing at the time. So that's the Detective I got. Oh shit. All right. Here's some Batman, some mainline flagship, whatever you want to call it. Batman, self-titled, whatever. 456 from 1990. Same price range here. I'm guessing anywhere between like, it depends on, I forget, like I kind of just put them in the box once I have them. I should be better about that. I know for a fact it's like 50 cents to $1.50 or so for these. Maybe even less. Maybe like, it's probably close to 50 for these. I'm kind of remembering these now. 477 with the like toy cover thing. Bullshit. It's kind of cool though. This is a sick Kelly Jones cover because it features two of my favorite characters of all time. It's just got beautiful atmosphere. 522. Swamp Thing's on there. Bats is on there. Swamp Thing's got turtles hanging out on his back. Gorgeous, man. For $1, like, or whatever I paid, not much. Here's number 523. Here's an Ed Brubaker Batman, 596. Here's a beautiful annual, beautiful, maybe not the best word, but great artwork. Number 16. These I got because they were Mike Mignola covers. These were like 20, 30 cents or whatever. I wish I had gotten the whole miniseries. Unfortunately, I just got the first two. For whatever reason, I don't think the other two were like around. But it's the Francis Ford Coppola film adaptation comic form. I mean, look at that shit, Just some awesome Mike Mignola art for, a couple quarters. And then here's number 2, which is maybe even better of a cover. Just so moody. Perfect stuff. But yeah, I like horror, in general, like horror films and whatnot, and I comics obviously too. So for that price, I was just like, yeah, man, sure. I got this for the same reason, just a cool cover, and eventually I might try to get this series because I'm getting more into Wonder Woman. Already a huge Swamp Thing fan. I've heard good things about this run, and I just never read it. This is a Greg Capullo variant for Justice League Dark, number 4. Yeah, Detective Chimp, and I think that's Zatanna. I don't know. She's wearing something different, but it's probably Zatanna or Zatanna, however you say it. I just thought it was a sweet cover, and it was like in that. I think this was in like that Midtown sale, so this was probably like $1.50 or something. But again, I'm just kind of collecting these over like a course of a long period of time. Here's a couple random one-offs that I just thought were cool, and I like the characters or whatever, and they were 50 cents or less. Huntress number 3. Some 90s goodness. Hawkman, John Ostrander number 1. Love his Martian Manhunter run. I've read some of his Spectre run, so I actually have not read this, so we'll see. Maybe I'll dabble. This is the Demon number 1. My wife and I have been watching some of the old Justice League cartoon, and that 2-parter episode that he's in is pretty sick. Here's like Dark Victory 13 with Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale. Love Tim Sale, so I mean, whatever. It's like I said, 50 cents Tim Sale stuff. Just time to go for it, Home stretch. Here's some randoms. I think it's like mostly like just a couple Green Lantern number 1s or whatever. I got more than a few. I've got quite a few of this series, but I did not have number 1 yet, the New Guardians. I like Kyle and Bleez, and Arculo's cool or whatever, so I haven't read it yet because I'm still building the run. Sorry, I'm burping and whatever. This is not serious videos or anything like that, so sorry, folks. And then here's Emerald Warriors number 1. Cool oil painting-ish looking cover, kinda. I have like, I don't know, probably 8 or 10 of these, so it's like I'm almost done with this run with the Brightest Day stuff. So that was cool to get for whatever, nothing basically. These are, I just grew up really thinking Venom was sick. This is like the only Marvel that I've purchased in God knows how long. But it's just Venom being Venom and cool stuff. The Mace, that's part 1. This is part 2. And I am an idiot or whatever because I do not have 3, and they're worth like nothing. So I should have just like, I don't know, tried to get 3 to at least complete that mini. All right, last stack for this video at least. I have a lot of other stuff to show for future videos, but over the course, and I might even just go through my back stock, and just be like, hey, look at this, I have this and I like it. Catwoman number 1. I have a few of this run. I know the artwork's pretty cheesecakey. What are you gonna do? I like it. I love Catwoman. Probably, yeah. She's easily top 5 favorite characters for me. I like her kind of. She's got this kind of. She kind of owns this kind of her sex appeal and her ferocity and her independence. She's like this, I think she's this very feminist icon character who probably didn't start that way, I don't know. I mean, this covers, she's basically naked, like just with the painted on suit. But yeah, I've just always been drawn to Catwoman, the whole aesthetic, the whole the romance with her and Batman obviously is a big part of both of their characterizations. I think a lot of people define her by her relationship to Batman, which is pretty disrespectful. I'm talking about these people like they're real. They're obviously just fake, made up characters, but um, I think they both are somewhat defined by each other in the ways that they, bounce off each other in terms of their characterizations and their incompatibilities despite their obvious love for each other. And just on like a subjective note, I love that she has green eyes. I just love Catwoman. I don't know, whatever. Big Selena Kyle fan. I also am a huge James Bond fan, and like some of her stuff does have like a bit of like a Bond feel to it, especially some of the newer stuff, which I've been really liking actually. Like the newer runs, like Rom V onward, basically, from like 2019 or so, whenever he took over, and he did like a short run, and then, but from there it's just been like good stuff, like very like espionage-y. I love heisty, any of the heisty story arcs that she does, or that she's like in her book, are sweet. Um, yeah, Catwoman, man. I don't know. These are like worthless runs. They're probably not like the best. I've read some of this Joe Duffy run, and I thought it was fine actually. I don't know. People say it's probably not great or whatever. I thought it was good. Um, Another pretty risque cover, but I thought it was sweet. And these were like dirt cheap. That number 1, by the way, is pretty beat up. Like it's kind of wrinkled or whatever. If I had a press, which of course I don't, it would be like much easier to make look great. But again, I don't collect to like resell or brag about or whatever. I guess I'm making this video not to brag, just to show things. This comic's a little warped too. This is number 3. I also really just like the colors. The coloring here is great. The inking is great. It's just beautiful covers here. Man, they her cans, man, I tell you what. It's ridiculous. This is a sweet cover. Number 6. Yeah, I'm sorry about the glare. Got the window open, but sweet, sweet cover. All right. I'm super excited to get into this series. I have read some of it. This is like the anthology series, right? So I got these for like 20, 30 cents a pop. This is Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, issue 2. But it's the Shaman arc, because these are all like self-contained. I have the rest of the Shamans somewhere, I think. 28 Faces. 29 Faces. I've heard really good things. Like some of them are, I've heard some of them are like pretty bad or whatever, but I've heard most of them are pretty good. 30. 37 Mercy. Is that Dan Abnett? That, yeah, he would have been young, right? I don't know. I guess I don't know how old he is now when he's been active like the Warhammer stuff and like the Teen Titans and Aquaman or whatever. 40. Crazy cool cover. 41. Doug Mensch, I think is how you pronounce his name. I don't know. Heat. Number 48. 54. Mike Mignola. Look at that shit, man. That's good stuff. 63. I think I have more of these coming in like another video. 93. Garth Ennis, Batman. And then an annual, which looks to be unrelated to basically anything. And it's the most 90s thing you've ever seen, and it's the last comic I'm showing for this video. The 1996 annual, number 6. But yeah, thanks guys. I don't know. Probably just going to show comics, talk about stuff, talk about some of my own history with some things, and that's what I got. Cheap stuff, blue collar comics. First video. Collect on the cheap. Collect what you like. Don't worry about value. Take care of your books, if you ever want to pass them on or, get rid of them or whatever. But, I guess the whole point is to show that you can get, you can get stuff that's cool, or at least that's cool to you, for cheap. And do not collect comic books as an investment. Do not do it. Collect them if you are into them. Thanks so much for anybody who watched and anybody that stuck around for this long. I know it's super long. I don't really care. Maybe you're just listening while you're going to work. I don't know. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day. Bye.